Like to welcome everyone to the Emmaus Borough Council meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For the record, Councilman DeFrame will not be here this evening. We have no guests here. Do we have any virtual guests? We do not. Does the press have a public appeal? No. Okay. Community minute. Does anyone have anything to bring forward?
First day of spring.
First day of spring is nice to be here.
Yeah. Wait, is it true?
Yeah.
First day of spring. We're all going there from here.
I was just
Everybody's
gonna
gotta start taking their Allegra. Allergies.
I was just gonna say that the library is having their tea time events this Friday and Saturday. Friday for older adults and Saturday for families.
Thank you.
Mr. Davidberg, I have one.
Okay.
So the Emmaus High School varsity softball kicked off their home game season down at the William Street Park on Saturday. They won their first game of the year, so shout out to them. And you know, they'll be playing their home games down at William Street this year. So if you get a chance, catch them.
Are they the upper field or lower field?
The lower field, they
Lower
moved down.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, we have no special presentations this evening. We have the reading of the minutes from March 6th, 2023 to pass. Anybody have a motion to pass the meeting minutes? Councilman Valiant, seconded by Councilwoman McManaman. Any corrections or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 6 ayes. We have no decisions on bids. Under communications, we received a letter from Cedar Brook Sportsman Trout Stocking about stocking our Furnace Dam. They won't be able to do it this year because they've been determined to possibly have, I don't know, some snails, something that's not a native species to our waterways. So they will unfortunately not be able to provide trout for us. Usually we had about 300 trout. So I wanted to ask, it did say in a letter that commercial fisheries you can get them and they don't have the same regulations. I just was wondering if maybe we could have our public works director look at maybe having somebody else stocking it besides them that's able to.
We absolutely can reach out, but I'll tell you at this point, since trout season kicks off in 4 days.
Yeah, but there's a whole
kids.
summer.
I understood, but they have them allocated to different places at this point. So I don't know if we're going to be able to pull 500 trout from a commercial fishery.
I
We
mean,
can definitely,
even 100 would be.
we can definitely try.
You know what, how about all the ones that Shane catches, he has to throw in there. I'll make that motion.
But you'll have a couple hundred then.
I'm not sure we would want
Such
that.
wackadoos,
Pennsylvania standards don't reach the private hatcheries
Commercials.
or the commercial, but why would we want to take the chance of having an issue? Since they could have snails, they could have an infestation and not be held to that same standard. So I wouldn't want us to do
Well, and
that.
what we don't know is, because one of the things they said was if there's snails already in the waterway, then
Right.
they could do it. What we don't know is if they're in the pond already or not.
We also received a letter on the Emmaus 4 Mile event. It's the same event that's every year, so staff can just handle that. I think it's 30 plus years they've been doing that. Anybody else have a communication to bring forward? All right, hearing none, there's no borough engineers report, solicitors report.
I have one brief item for executive session that I raised with the manager. We'll address it then.
Thank you. Under unfinished business part 1, we have 2 ordinances to pass. Both of them had passed previously on a first reading, February 6th, and tonight is second reading. The first ordinance is 1239, an ordinance establishing chapter 15, part 5 of the Emmaus Code of Ordinances, parking kiosk zones, including days and hour parking limits, placement and characteristics of parking, payment, unlawful acts, ticketing, permits, as well as violations, penalties, and exceptions for kiosk zones within the borough of Emmaus. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve ordinance 1239? Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilwoman McManaman. Any more discussion on this? I know over the last several meetings, we brought up some things and everything seems to be hashed out, so. All right, this is a roll call vote. Councilwoman McManaman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Baumgartner, Councilman Anders,
Aye.
Councilman Layberg, aye, Councilman Balliet,
Aye.
Councilman Hart.
Aye.
There are 6 ayes. And ordinance 1239 passes on second reading. We also have ordinance 1240, an ordinance of the Borough of Emmaus, Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, amending chapter 1, part 1, adding subsection 108 of the Code of Ordinances, establishing hiring and promoting procedures for upper management employees. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve this for second reading? Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilman Balliet. Any discussion? I will be voting no, just for the same reasons I pointed out in the February 6th meeting. So with that being said, roll call vote, Councilwoman McManaman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Baumgartner,
Aye.
Councilman Anders,
Aye.
Councilman Layberg, no, Councilman Hart,
Aye.
Councilman Balliet.
Aye.
There are 5 ayes and 1 no. We have no new business. Unfinished business part 2, we have nothing. Does anybody have anything to bring forward that is not on the agenda? Madam Mayor's report.
I have nothing to report this evening. Progress.
All right, we don't have a heavy committee report, but Public Works Committee, Chairman Anders.
Thank you, Mr. President. We do have one item for official action, and I'm pleased to announce that we would like to present Camilo Rodriguez for the position of Public Works. He comes to us with a background in water technician, servicing different items within piping and the pumps. And I think will be a great asset to our team over there. So with that, I would like to put a motion to hire Camilo Rodriguez contingent on the background.
Motion by Councilman Anders, seconded by Councilman Balliet. Yes, he's an excellent candidate, but I think our Public Works Director is excited about him getting started, so. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 6 ayes.
Yeah, I would tell you that one of the things that Mr. Anders didn't say was his background is also in electricity and electronics. So he can actually physically pull a pump out, tear it apart and rewire it. And it's not just the water side of it, but
Shane, did I need to first start dating here?
no, we'll take care of it.
Okay. I did want to note that we do have another position that we will be filling in the near future. We're reviewing resumes that had previously come in to try to fill the second position that we do have. Beyond that, our next meeting is Thursday, April 19th at 4 p.m. via Zoom. With that, I'll report progress.
Thank you. Health, Sanitation and Codes Committee, Chairman Balliet.
I have nothing tonight for official action, Mr. President. Our next meeting is going to be March 29th at 4:45. That'll report progress.
Thank you. Parks and Recreation Committee, Chairwoman Baumgartner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have nothing for official action. Meeting minutes from our last meeting are included. So you can see some of the things we've been talking about. Our next meeting will be April 4th at 4:45 p.m. via Zoom. Progress.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee, Chairman Hart.
Thank you, Mr. President. If I may, I'd like to go out of order here and take ordinance 1239 first. An ordinance establishing chapter 15, part 5 of the Emmaus Code of Ordinances, part kiosks.
John, we passed that.
Right.
That's all right.
It's,
You could. Chad's saying you couldn't hear it.
we had a wonderful opportunity to interview candidates for paramedics. And we ended up with 2 individuals that we're bringing before you this evening. The first individual is Cristani Iurano, is how it's pronounced. Cristani is from Hawaii, and he is a paramedic there. He heard about Emmaus being the garden spot of the Lehigh Valley, and decided to vacate Hawaii and come and live here.
For the weather.
Yes, one of the four seasons. He is engaged to a young lady that is from the area and working in the area. They've already purchased a house, so we've been fortunate to have him interested in our position. A very impressive individual, and he comes well recommended to us. Unless you have any questions, you have a CV in front of you. I would make a motion that we hire one of the full-time paramedic positions in the ambulance department.
Motion by Councilman Hart, is there a second? Councilman Valiant, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? There are 6 ayes.
No, that's completed. Yeah, that's complete.
I'm sorry.
I was just asking if there was a background needed or if it was.
How many applicants were there?
About 7 or 8 is, so we struggle, I mean, the EMS hiring crisis is widespread. I will tell you though, Kristani is definitely, our medical command officer, met with him, and that was probably the most glowing review I've ever seen the medical command officer give. This gentleman, was a flight paramedic in the military, worked for the federal government as a paramedic as well. I mean, he has a very, very good background, and a ton of experience, and then worked for the city of Honolulu, as well. So, again, I don't know if it was the garden of Emmaus or if it was love that brought him to here, but I look forward to working with Kristani.
Second candidate for consideration is a little bit different than the normal candidate. Shelby Del Cerro. She's presently an EMT in our ambulance department. She's an outstanding employee. She's well regarded, so well regarded that she was recommended to apply for the position of paramedic, even though she is not presently a paramedic. She is currently in a training program at Reading Hospital in the paramedic program. I think she's scheduled to complete that program in a half a year.
Yeah, I believe by the end of July.
The committee felt so strongly about her that we wanted to recommend to council that we appoint her contingent upon the successful completion of that program. Don't want to lose a good candidate. She's a known commodity from the perspective of a worker and a caring individual. So with that, I'll make a recommendation that we offer the paramedic position to her contingent upon successful completion of her present Reading Hospital paramedic program.
Motion by Councilman Hart, is there a second? Councilwoman McManaman, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? There are 6 ayes.
The next interview sessions that we did involved the position of the deputy chief of police. I can tell you that up front that it was abundantly clear from the candidates reinforce that this particular position was not an automatic succession into the chief position should the chief leave or retire. They already understood that. I want to also note for the record that as a result of her choice, the mayor was not involved in the interview process. We had 4 candidates, and I can tell you that we had more than one qualified candidate for the position from the perspective of the public safety. Our final recommendation revolves around a principle that I learned at Notre Dame in graduate school, and that is, it's not necessarily the number or amount of assets that you bring to the table. It's the right person at the right time. Brian Hampshire is that person. He brings to the table for our borough all the necessary assets and qualifications to be the right person to work with Chief Apgar. Moving forward, he has extensive experience, particularly in the budgeting areas and other areas. So without any further explanation, I would have his CV in front of me. I would offer his name to be appointed the Deputy Chief of Police for the Mass Police Department.
Motion by Councilman Hart, is there a second? Councilwoman McManaman, any discussion?
I just want to say that I think it's very satisfying when we are interviewing individuals and they are all so capable, and knowing that we hired them and were part of the hiring process. So they were all extremely well versed on the department, and it was a great experience. I think Mr. Hart and Mr. DeFrank felt the same way. So
Good to hear. Anyone else? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 6 ayes.
We will do a swearing in ceremony at the next council meeting.
Okay.
All right, but the mayor may swear him in, officially at different. We'll do a ceremony at your next council.
Nice.
There's no further business. What I was trying to read before was the ordinance 1240 that I thought belonged to me. It was there last time, but it got moved to
12:30.
no 1240. Is what I thought.
Okay, flipped. Okay.
So the next meeting of the Public Safety Committee is scheduled for March 30th at 9 a.m. via Zoom. Report progress.
Thank you. General Administration Committee, we did not meet since last council meeting. We already approved ordinance 1240. Or 1239. I don't know, Jess got me confused now. But anyhow, those are approved, and our next meeting is April 6th. Yeah, that's my birthday. 9 o'clock via Zoom. Progress. Budget and Finance. In lieu of Chairman DeFrane not being here, Councilman Hart, will you do the report? Sure. Thank you.
Resolution 2023-9, a resolution of council of the Borough of Ada County establishing fee schedule for the parking lot located at 311 Main Street in Mass. The fees that are being recommended by the Finance Committee was $10 an hour and $30 a night for extended period, or $30 extended in the day for 10 hours. The fees for any additional parking in the borough, in addition to this particular fee, will be handled in the budgetary process with all the other fees moving forward. So they will appear on that list of fees that we charge. So with that, I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2023.
Motion by Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilman Balliet. Discussion?
Mr. Hart, I'm sorry, did you say 30 or 35? Because it says 35. here.
35.
Okay, I thought you said 30. Maybe it's my hearing though, not yours. I just wanted to make sure I heard it.
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 6 ayes.
Okay, the resolution 2023-13, the bill list for the period ending March 20th. Bill list came to a total of $1,308,493.46. Payroll 5 was $176,662.70. Payroll taxes were $56,892.83 for a total of $1,542,048.99. Put that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Councilman Hart to pass the bill list. Is there a second? Councilwoman Baumgartner. Any discussion on the bill list? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 6 ayes.
significant revenue and expenses report appears in your packet. There's nothing out of the ordinary there to discuss. With that, I'll note that our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, April 6th at 11 a.m. via Zoom. With that, I report progress.
Thank you. Community Relations Planning and Development Committee Chairwoman McManaman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing for official action this evening. Our next meeting is Monday, March 27th at 4:30 via Zoom. I report progress.
Thank you. Under boards and commissions, you have the Recreation and Entertainment Commission meeting notes. Personal Appeals Part 2. I see we still have nobody from the public here or on our Zoom. So that leads us to Borough Manager's Report.
Richard Schanzenbach has completed his probationary period as a part-time firefighter. Therefore, we are retaining Mr. Schanzenbach. I also have hired a part-time EMT, Leanne Ruck. You have her application in your packets. Leanne is quite qualified and has been working for a little bit of time at St. Luke's. She'll be putting in some hours for us as well. Yes, sir.
The name on the application and the name on the thing are different. Leanne's the same, but last name's different.
Leanne Ruck is the name on record.
Okay.
Shane, that's a quick question. I'm not really a question, but just a statement. I just wanted to thank you and everyone here who put out the newsletter. So I guess I'm not loud enough. Whoever put out the newsletter, yourself, and wrote the article, Sarah, and the rest of your team, was very, very thorough about, everything that we have going on. And we know that they went out recently, and just appreciate the efforts for that. Just want to thank you.
Thank you. Look. If you want to know what's going on, read that newsletter. That's anybody that wants to know what's going on, that newsletter has it right now. So I think my goal is moving forward that we put some more thorough articles like that in the newsletter. But what that means though is some of these newsletter articles that other organizations send in are going to be getting cut, because if I'm writing articles to that length, it's cutting pages from other things. So as we had discussed, I think maybe at Gen Ed, maybe it's here, I'm not sure where we discussed it, having some more thorough information on some of these things that people are asking questions about, we think is more important than and not that everybody else's stuff isn't important, but we think it's more important than some of those other articles that get put in there. So yeah, thank you. Our goal moving forward is to have more of those deeper detailed articles in your newsletter.
I think everyone keeps everyone informed a little bit more, because we know they're not here as we see here and see online. So it's getting word out, and communication is key. So thank you.
Progress.
Thank you. Under President's Business, I concur with Councilman Anders. I always wanted to say the same thing. Everything that you need to know about what's going on in this borough is in that newsletter, so I hope people read it. And it's something to be proud about too, because there's a lot of things going on that are positive in this borough. We are going to have an executive session regarding
Potential litigation.
potential litigation with no action to be taken.
No,
No
not
action to be taken
on either issue.
Oh, sorry, I was only referring to.
No, that's okay. It's potential litigation on both.
on both.
Well, yeah, the potential litigation on one, possible real estate transaction on the other.
All right, so we're going to executive session at 6:25, and I'll allow the press. All right, we're reconvening at 6:55. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So
Councilman Valley, seconded by Councilman Hart. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 6 ayes. Meeting adjourned at 6:56.